Hello. Okay, today we're going to talk about puppy biting, nipping, chewing, and things like that, just to kind of get families ready and prepared to know what to do when their puppy starts to nip or bite. So we have one of our puppies here with us. We, of course, are not planning on him nipping or biting right now. We've been working a lot with them on training them not to nip or bite, but this is going to be our little model for us. Puppies are just like toddlers. Toddlers put everything in their mouth. They put it in there to feel, to taste, the texture, and that's how they learn. And puppies are very much like toddlers, and they do the same things. Everything kind of goes in their mouth so they can taste, touch, feel, explore. Everything is kind of through their mouths. So when we think about a puppy nipping or biting, we don't want to think that they're doing it because they're angry or because they're mad or because they don't get what they want. This is just them exploring the world that they're coming into. So we want to make sure that we're teaching them the right skills to make sure that they can progress to not be a nipper or biter as they grow older. Our big thing that we want to tell families is puppies are so cute. They're so fun. But we never want a puppy doing something that you wouldn't want a 1 or 2 year old dog doing. So when puppies come home, it is so cute when they chew on your slippers. Or it is so cute when they nip at your fingers or your toes. But if you don't want your 1 or 2 year old dog doing that, then you don't want your puppy doing that. We don't want to get them into we want the good habits. We don't want them getting into habits that we don't want later in life. So day 1, if you don't want it to continue, don't let it happen day 1. If you're wanting to crate train, day 1. If you're wanting them to not chew on shoes, day 1. If you're not wanting them to chew on your fingers, day 1. We don't want anything happening that we don't want to continue long term, because they really do learn as they grow, just like a toddler. So when we're playing with puppies, they're going to get excited. And when they get excited, that's typically when the nipping and the biting can come out, because that's how they play with their siblings. The puppies together will just nip and chew on each other and bite and run and play, and we just want to make sure that they understand that we are different than their litter mates. We want to do it in a loving way. We don't want to do it in a harsh way, but we just want to teach them that that's not how we play. So some great options. If you have toys like ropes or lots of different like bully sticks, things for them to chew on that they are allowed to, make sure those are accessible. If they start to bite or nip, grab a toy, play a little tug, throw a toy that they can go and retrieve for you. Give them something to do other than nip and bite. That's how they've learned how to play so far. So that's where they need to learn that different skills. You're snoring up my ears. When they do nip, just make sure that you're doing a correction in a loving way. We don't want to be angry. We don't want to be mad. We don't want to yell or hit or anything like that. A very simple way to correct their behavior is if they're nipping and biting, all you need to do, I'll just show you so that you just are going to grab below their chin and above their nose, and you're just going to lightly pinch their mouth closed and say no. And you'll just hold it for just a second. They'll give a teeny tiny whimper of like, ooh, I don't like this. And then you let go. And every time they do that, just lightly pinch at their nose and mouth so it closes their mouth and just say no. And after about 2 or 3 times in the play section, they realize that it's not actually fun for them to do that. So they will eventually stop. So our children are trained right now that anytime they're playing with puppies and they start to get that way, we just gently put their fingers on their nose and their chin and just gently squeeze, and we get a little teeny whimper, and then we let go. And then if they stop, you can let them continue to play. Another thing is when young children are playing with puppies, they just kind of feel like it's a litter mate. They feel like they're more accessible, they're lower to the ground typically, and they can nip or bite more. A great option if you have young children that maybe are a little bit more timid or maybe are a little bit rougher, and so the puppy just feels like, oh, we're playing, let's play. Get them a chair that is a little bit higher than the puppy can reach. And if the child ever gets nervous or the puppy starts to nip and bite and the little child doesn't like it, just have them get up on the chair and sit until the puppy is calmed. The puppy only is doing what it's doing is because it wants to play. If you remove the enjoyment of playing with them, they will stop. So as soon as the child gets up on that chair and starts to just sit there and wait, the puppy will calm itself because it's like, oh, this is not what I was wanting. I want to play with you. And it will learn that every time I nip or bite, the fun leaves. And so just having access to them to get up higher or away from puppy where they can feel like they're in control and that the puppy will have to wait until they've calmed down to play with them again. Another thing is the puppy does not understand a scared squeal to a happy squeal. So a family that has a young child that might get nipped and is kind of startled, if they run away from the puppy kind of squealing, the puppy thinks they are playing. So the puppy will naturally chase the little child because, yay, we're playing a game finally, and they will chase them. So if they are going to play with young children, until they have learned the skills, just have a way that the child can get up without having to run, because the puppy will instinctively chase them because they think that's what we're doing to play a game. So have an access to where they can get up without having to worry about it. So we've got, make sure to have the ability to correct them gently when they have an issue. Have toys to play with. Have an area where the child can get up and away if they are getting too wild. But also, just like a toddler, puppies start to get a little hyperactive when they get tired. So if the puppy is getting all of a sudden the zoomies, or if the puppy is like all of a sudden just kind of gone crazy with nipping and biting, it's probably ready for a nap. It's probably for a 20-minute calm down session. You can put them in their pen, in their crate, or they can just like snooze on the couch. But sometimes when they get really tired, that is when they start to get more nippy and bitey. So just make sure that if you're on a schedule, that you stay on a schedule and that they have access to somewhere where they can calm themselves down after playing, because they will play and play for as long as they can before they just pass out. But also, of course, giving them options of things they can chew. The positive reinforcement is great. Bully sticks, get them the Nyla bones, get them a Kong that's stuffed, get them toys that they can chew on, making sure that there's not access to other toys they can't have. If you've got children that have Barbies, don't leave Barbies out for them to access, because instinctively they will think it's their new toy. And so they will chew it. They're not trying to be destructive or malicious or anything. They just found a cool toy. And so Barbie legs and lots of like Legos and things like that are just new toys they've never explored. So just make sure that there's not access to things that they can't be chewing. If you are not watching the puppy 100% of the time, just like potty training, if you can't watch them, put them in a pen where the things that they can play with are there, and making sure to correct them gently when they're chewing on something that they should not be chewing on. So hopefully that helps with some nipping and biting. If you're looking for more information on nipping and biting and how to control that, some puppies do it a lot, some are much more mild. There's lots of access to videos on our website under training and support of nipping and biting issues that you can work on. And so we suggest you watch them and kind of get some ideas of some things that might be helpful. But we will keep you posted on if there's any more updates on nipping and biting. But we hope that helps, and it'll keep kiddos safe, and it'll keep puppies safe, and make it so that as they grow, that they've got some really good habits, and that we don't have them chewing on things that we don't want, or chewing on people that we shouldn't want them to be chewing on. So have a good day, and we'll talk later.